Hello, hello.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
My name is Levi, or I also go by Matthew. Welcome. How are you? Let me tell you guys that I am a tax collector. You guys know what tax collectors do?
Yes. Collect taxes.
Collect taxes. That's money that the government comes and takes for you. So I want some taxes. Do you have money for taxes?
Here.
No? Molly, do you have money for taxes?
No.
Hey, there's two people here that don't have money for taxes. Guards, come take them away to prison. All right, so you used to go to jail if you didn't pay money to taxes. So were tax collectors very popular?
No, they hated them.
They hated them. Why? Because who likes paying money, right?
No one.
I hate
So
paying money.
tax collectors were very unpopular. So I was at my booth, okay, just collecting money from people, and all of a sudden Jesus came up to me and he said, "Hey Matthew, come follow me." Guess what I did?
Followed him.
I went and followed him, yes. Wouldn't you do that if Jesus walked up to you?
Yeah.
I was so excited to hear what he had to say that I threw a party that night for all my friends. Guess who my friends were?
The disciples.
No, I didn't know any disciples. They were tax collectors. They were people that were kind of considered the sinners of that time. So they weren't the preachers and the pastors.
Like the tax collector and the Pharisees.
Yes, they were the people that weren't very popular. So I had this big party, and Jesus was with me. So Jesus was talking to all my friends, and guess what? The teachers of the law saw this party, and you know what they said?
What?
They said, "Look at that Jesus guy. Who is he friends with?"
Tax collectors.
The sinners and tax collectors. Yeah, was that a good thing?
No, but it wasn't.
No. And you know what Jesus said?
What?
He said, "Hey, it is not the healthy that need a doctor.
Luke is a doctor.
Who needs a doctor?
The sick.
The sick." And he said, "I did not call the righteous. I did not come to call the righteous, but I came to call the sinners." So Jesus said, "I'm here for the sick." Okay, the sick or the sinners. So today, that's a little bit of a parable, but that's what we're going to talk about today, parables. Now today, when we want to keep things from going bad, we put them in what? The fridge. We stick them in the fridge. What did they do before they had refrigerators?
They put ice boxes.
They put them. They didn't have freezers either.
They put salt on them.
They would put salt on them. Yeah. So like if they caught a fish and they wanted to keep the fish, they would put a bunch of salt on the fish, which doesn't sound very good, but that's just how they did. How about pickles? That's how they keep cucumbers, right? So Jesus, the first thing he said is for us not to lose our saltiness. So what does salt do?
Keep it preserved.
Keep it preserved, yes. It also gives what?
Flavor.
Energy, flavor, yes. So when Jesus calls us to be the salt of the earth, that means we give flavor, and we also, like salt, we preserve. Isn't that what Jesus did? He saves us.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the next parable we're going to talk about is a firm foundation.
Jesus talked about the importance of building your spiritual foundation. He used the example of two houses being built. One house was built in the sand, the other was built on a rock. When the storm came,
Okay, wait, here we go. Now listen.
the house in the sand went down, but the house on the rock stood firm.
Oh, no.
I knew it!
Our next one is about a farmer, okay, and sowing seeds, okay?
How about the parable of the sower? Jesus told a parable about the farmer who went out to sow his seed. Elizabeth is acting out the parable by sowing her seed. Some on the path where the birds came and ate it, some of the rocky ground where it came up but had no roots, some among the thorns where it was choked out, and some on the good ground where it grew and produced a crop, 100, 60, or 30 times what was sown.
Okay, so some hearts are what?
Solid.
Maybe rocky. Maybe they're hard, right?
Solid.
They're not ready to hear about Jesus. Other hearts, maybe they're ready, but what happens? They've got a lot of other stuff going on in their lives, right? Okay, eyes up here, guys. So they've got a lot of other stuff going on in their lives. So they may be interested in Jesus, but man, they sure love basketball way more than they love Jesus, or they love their work so much, or they love this or that. Just cares of the world choke out things of God, right?
I like the one about the mustard seed. The mustard seed is so small you can hardly see it, but when it goes up, it becomes one of the largest plants, where birds come and perch in its branches. Jesus said, "The mustard seed is like the kingdom of heaven." If we have the faith of a mustard seed, we can see big things happen.
What does the story of the mustard seed represent? Kate?
Your faith.
Your faith. So does your faith start out like a giant tree?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Sometimes it can be really small. The mustard seed is like a faith, so it can be very, very tiny, but it can grow into something big.
What a difference you've made in my life. What a difference you've made in my life. You're my sunshine.